Okay, guys, back here to finish up Friday. Well, it's early afternoon still. Now we had a tie going all day long between Litecoin and Ethereum. Looks like Litecoin just broke the tie here. Somebody made a late vote, but I'm going to go ahead and do both of them. They're very similar counts. See if we can squeeze them both in here. So let's start with Ethereum because we looked at this last week, I think middle of the week, so it hasn't been that long. Nothing has changed in the count, so I think we can move through this pretty quickly. We do have this nice set of median lines that's on here, right? We're coming up to that upper parallel. So I think you got to live with the 1, 2, in the shallow 2 like so much of crypto, and then yet again it goes into a 1, 2. So it looks like we're seeking the third here at this degree, and then the larger 3 relative to this 1, 2 still yet to come. So as we push off here, there's a couple things, right? Standard ops, we just length of the 1 projected from the 2. Well, here, there we are, right now. Nothing says we have to stop there, but it is interesting that as we are tapping the upper parallel here, we're hitting our high probability zone for a third. Again, of course, could certainly blow through there, but if we were to pivot there, well, you'd have a reasonable idea of where you were in the count. So I think you'd be comfortable planting the 3 there, and then you'd look for the 4, something along these lines. If you could get parallel to parallel, right? That's just would be gorgeous, right? And then you can just kind of look at it and say, well, that would certainly have the right look. Now the subdivision gets a little tricky in here. I'll pull this off because again, it's too soon to plant the flag there. Now I've got that. Oh shit! Can I even get it back there? Oh, here's the prior pivot that I was looking at here where we ran into. So that's what that structure, that's what I'm working off of there. Really, you could do it. Kind of use both of these and get yourself a little box there. So you're getting, coming right into that structure. Now there's very little here. Well, for visible range, you're not going to see anything. We'd have to get a bigger picture of it. But you can see there's just been no market acceptance here. So if we were to go up here and tap that and then push back a little bit, you can understand why. If we get through it, well, now you're feeling really good about the 1, 2, impulsive 3 would start to look pretty solid. So let's go down to a 60 here and see this something going on here, triangle-ish, right? So either you've got to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into a skinny 3. It's let's take that down a degree. It's not good looking either way. But what you get here is you get typical 4 action, right? You get a pause and some chop before we push away. So. Oh shit! Right, the Elliotticians are going to differ on this. It's not an ideal triangle, right? So the C, it's a again, let's just call it consolidation. Now we're coming out of there. I mean, you got to go down to a 15 to try and get your little 1, 2 in there. 3, 4 is solid right now. You're pushing up for that 5. Are we to and through? Well. The size of the 5 relative to the 3 would be askew. So there certainly is potential for this day, right? Considering it's Ethereum, right, as strong as it's been. There certainly potential. Let me pull that off. That we are just doing, if indeed somewhere in here we got our 4, and this could certainly just be the 1, 2 of a bigger 5th, right? So if you look back to the size of the 3rd. This would be a mighty wimpy 5th, right? So, again, the 1 wasn't huge, but you'd like to see something at least approaching, if not 100%, 618 the length of the 1. So if that's the 1 there, and you kind of a best guessed here. Let's use the pivot. Well, that's interesting, right? So length of the 1 projected from the proposed, right? I'm going to dig in there. If this is our pivot, well, shit, let's get it right on there. Hang on. Let's get it right on that pivot. Okay, so this is the E of a triangle, and if, right, it's an ugly looking triangle. If so, well, there's your 100 length of the 1. So you could kind of see how that could play, right? You might be living with the skinny this skinny 5th. Now, how will we know? Well, of course, right? So if we come down and retrace here and we hold and then we start pushing higher, well, then you've just got the 1 and we're going to get a bigger kick in the 5th. But right now, okay, well, at least I've got typical wave structure fib relationship here. So, well, not even truly a fib, but the length of the 1 parity with length of the 5, with a monster 3, and then some sort of a cluster F in here of just sideways 4-ish like behavior. It could be the A, B, C, D, E, right? It certainly looks like a triangle, but the other possibilities, the threes here, and you've got A, B, C, and you got a running flat, although that's not far enough, which is why I'm more inclined to think it's A, B, C, D, E, and then we're seeking that fifth up there. So I don't think there's anything to do here with regards to a new trade. I don't know that I'd be chasing a new trade here, buying at the high of this range. I'd be looking for the retracement. So if this is, if and when we get a pivot up here in this vicinity, well, you kind of, it's annoying. I know it's frustrating, right? You're like, oh, I'm missing it. I would wait. Think about where you are, where you might anticipate looking for some support. Now, again, I don't know that the pivot is in here, but if I do start to see it, well, something like that. Well, here would be your 38, right in line with the lower parallel. I mean, you could certainly see how that could play, right? So there's if you got something like that, now that's frustrating, right? Because if it keeps going here, you're thinking, oh shit, man, I missed it. I wanted to wait. Stupid trade devil guy. I can't. I just careful about buying that, right? It's been rolling here we've been rolling for 213. We're at 3. That's a pretty good roll with very modest pullback. Here's the only pullback you had was in your 2. I'm a little sloppy there. And if I'm not mistaken, here we got back-to-back algo plays, right? So here's the 50. We're so to and through there because we had the monster 3, but this was a corner pocket as well. If I'm not mistaken, here we go 50 to the tick. If I get that right on here. So here's 50, and now here's third target. Right? You can always look over to the left. Well, here's third target right here. Right? We just tagged it to the tick. We go into this congestion triangle, whatever it ends up being, and now we're pushing up to that upper parallel. Of course, you're 80%, right? 80% was met right there. Right? And then you could draw another one right here. All right, so that's going to be, you'd have to put your runners there, so it's too steep. That's why I didn't really include it. So here, even though you technically would have a corner pocket here that's to and through and realized, it's so shallow. Yeah, it's almost not worth putting it on there. Let's see. Let's go 3 hour here. So the only thing that's unusual about this count is the shallowness of the 2, but we saw that in all of crypto, right? If indeed the lows are in and we're off and rolling, which certainly would appear that that's the case, all of crypto is going to live with this shallow 2. I don't know any of them that got even to a 50. So this looks like it's well underway of a third. So you just got to be patient, right? I mean, don't FOMO. Careful about the FOMO. Right? Pick your spots, right? There will be a retracement. There always is. Okay, guys. Wait. Oh, shit. I'm used to wrapping up there. But we're going to do 2 here, right? So let me pull this off here. I'm about to pull the plug. I'm so used to doing 1 at a time. Okay, so let's, because it was within 1 vote, here, let's go look at Litecoin, because we haven't looked at Litecoin for a while. It's, of course, very, very similar. I take that back. I think I was thinking here. This is the only one that gave you a decent 2. All right, so if here's the COVID sell-off. If this is, well, it's a pretty clean count, actually. Here, it's the cleanest. It's certainly cleaner than Bitcoin, Neo, Ethereum that we've all just looked at. Well, there's a nice leading diagonal coming off of the low. So the 1-2 is not as difficult to get your head around as the other majors, A, B, C into this corner. So we do get just a beautiful corner pocket here. Now it's not golden, right? But it's right at a 50. Well, we're not quite to the 50, but a corner pocket nonetheless. So, knowing the odds play there, right? From here, as long as it holds, right? We got 80% of getting there where we're pretty close, right? We're not there yet, right? So don't assume, but just looking at the cluster here, you can see how that would be a reasonable expectation here that we're going to get there. Now, did we get there and complete the 5? Well, not so fast, because if this is 1-2, we'd certainly want to see it go 100% the length of the 1. So if that's the 1 and this is the 2, well, that's why I have the 5 up here. We'd want to see it at least get to 100 the length of the 1. Now, again, of course, 3 doesn't have to be the longest, just can't be the shortest. So you'd be if we're going to get an impulse here, well, you'd like to see it go at least 100% here of the 1, right? So that you knew you had a solid 3 here. If it comes up shy of 100% of the 1, then you're more inclined to be thinking, oh man, I've got a contender here for an ABC before we head back down again. So you'd want to be kind of rooting her on here to see if we can get to, what do we got there? That's 65 and change. You'd want to, so that's the kind of thing to just set an alert. Oh, here, let's just add an alert there. So that you know, right? Did I get 100 the length of the one? Okay, well then I'm a little more comfortable putting a third here, and it looks like we're going to get a kicker in the fifth here to push this up to get it. This all looks like it's self-contained. So if I go down here, oh shit, I know that's a lot of stuff on there. Let me get some of this off so we can focus over here. 1, 2, well, you know, it's again pretty solid. So the length of the 1 projected from the 2. Well, there's 2, 6, 1, 8. Here, if this is going to be the 3 here, and that's the 4. Well, I'm going towards 2, 6, 1, 8, the length of the 1, which would be a stretch for the 5. Now it could be. Right, this got a little squirrely here. It could be that we end up putting the 3 in this over here. Could be, right? Because this got a little wonky, right? It could be that that's our third. Although you wouldn't want to see it fail there. You would want to see it get up and get the median line. So 1, 2, you know, if it's going to fail there, if it is, right, which is certainly possible. If we were going to do something like that, then you need to get there, right? You want it to get to that median line, right? Well, one, right, if you're long off of this, right, there's your target. But remember, trading principle number 4: a failure to get there sets up a move equal to or greater than the swing that failed it, right, equal to or greater to. Then you're back here thinking, oh, perhaps I've got an ABC. We didn't get 100% the length of the 1, and now you're rethinking that, and it's another heartbreak out. But it's not so fast, right? We're not there yet. Right now, this looks like a rip-roaring impulse that's coming off of this corner. 1, 2. I know that was technical. What was I think we got? Right. Oh, pardon me. So we broke the golden zone, but you got a 786 there that held it. So. Right, you didn't get an algo at your back here coming off of that corner, but you did down here. So 1, 2, now we go. So you got an algo here because that was well, I think it was a couple of ticks in front. It was a front run off of the 50. So this you see this a lot, right? It's not uncommon. You're thinking, oh, golden zone's going to hold it, but we know that here that's where the Elliott can be helpful. You know, it doesn't invalidate a wave 2, and then up we go. And this is. It looks like you've 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get into the 1, A, B, C into the 2. Now that's a pretty good rip for a 3, A, B, C for the 4. It looks like it's all there, but you're playing now a fairly big extension in the 5th. So about as far as I'd anticipate that going is to get up to the median line. Right? I mean, I had it here, right? And listen, this is 1, 2, and we're going to go up again. I think you got to live here, 1, 2, and we're extending. This would be 3, 4. We're extending into the 5th. Right? Don't make assumptions, right? We're not there yet, right? But again, same thing. Maybe an alert to let you know when you got there. But back to where's the next trade? Well, I'm not buying that. I am not buying that. But give me this. Yep, all day long. All right. So if we were to get there, so you have a little bit of structure here from the left. I think that's the prior wave 1 pivot, right? So something like that might be a heads up. Well, just looking here, you wouldn't want it to overlap that, right? If this is 1, 2, 3, we're trying to get into the 4, 5 here. Well, pardon me. All right, if this is going to complete the 3rd here, well then we may end up putting the 3 here. It may end up going this way. If we're going to go 3, 4 and go up here and get that, because we're still trying to get the 1, 2 here. We want the 3, 4, 5 to get beyond. Oh shit, I'm gonna have to pull out here and kind of recreate that. So bear with me a second. All right, I got one wave off here. Okay, so let's just let's get specific about this. Come here, goddamn trading view, never the first click. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, so here's the key pivot. Let's put a line on that. That's the one we got to get to. So now we come back into where we are. Well, if this is going to go up here and get something like this, we don't want this to pivot right here and say, oh, 3's in. We want 1, 2, 3, 4, because if this 4 starts coming down too far, we don't want to overlap this 1. Well, I mean, technically you'd invalidate the internal wave structure here, but you want this to get high enough so that, oh shit, where are you? So when this starts to come down, we're not threatening this one. You want to stay impulsive here all the way. So while this is the one that's relative to this 3rd, you'd rather see this get far enough so when the 4 comes, we're not threatening this 1. So even though I'm kind of adjusting on the fly here as you kind of work through it, you'd rather this be completing the 3 here so that as we come for the 4, so I'm going to take that box off and pardon my mistake there. So 2, whenever I get this, I want that 4 right here. If I'm going to go get a 5 there. This is the one I'm trying to get right here, right? Where I'm not, of course, that's not the 1 that's relative, that's the 1, but I don't want to see that overlap either way. I want this to continue and get far enough so when I come into that 4 here, I'm not threatening that 1 and I'm still rolling. So I'd like to see a little bit further. So so is it setting up a short? Well, no, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't trade that short. But I would if it comes down here and it gives it to me here, right on the lower parallel, right where I'm looking for it at the 50. I got a clear zone where I know I want to be out. If I can get that, I'll take that all day. Right? Again, the first assumption is we get to the median line, right? So the 80% gets realized. Now we're retracing. Can I get back to the median line? Well, that will be the target. 4 to the 5 to get up there. So, you know, I'm a buyer down here, 53, 54-ish, right in that range. I like that, prior 3, 4. Come down here for this, go up and get my 5. That gets me my 3, which sets up the 4, which sets up the 5. Then we're rolling. We're rolling. God damn, long way to go for Litecoin too. Long way to go, but very, very encouraging start. Just don't assume, right? I know, as I've said many times, your brain starts to fill in the path here, right? This is all just potential, nothing more. This could very easily just another A, B, C, and down we go. All right, let the market prove it. All right, and tight. Don't give these monster stops, right? It's still. Right, we all want this to go here, right? But it's still, there's been so many false breaks. Let the market prove it. Okay, guys. All right, I guess that'll do it for the day. Yeah, I think we're good. All right, guys. Back to you next week. New month. A lot of new things coming from us. So, talk to you next week.